There's a moment in life that changes a person forever. Not when they become successful. Not when they finally make money. Not even when the world begins respecting them. It happens much earlier than that. Quietly. Almost invisibly. It's the moment they stop asking for permission to become who they were meant to be. Most people will never understand your vision while it's still fragile. That's why they laugh first. I learned that from a man who used to sweep the floor of a small grocery store late at night. Every evening, after work, he sat outside under a broken streetlight, writing in a worn notebook, while everyone around him treated him like he was wasting time. People mocked him constantly. You're dreaming too big. You're too old. People like us don't escape this life. At first, he defended himself, explained his plans, tried to convince people he was serious. Then one day, he stopped talking. And that's when everything changed. Because powerful people eventually learn something dangerous. The less you explain yourself, the more energy you keep for the work itself. Years passed. The same people who laughed at him later stood in line asking him for opportunities after he built a business no one believed could exist. And the strange part, he never celebrated proving them wrong. He only regretted the years he spent doubting himself because of their voices. That's the hidden poison most people never notice. It's not hatred that destroys dreams. It's repeated exposure to small disbelief. A comment here, a joke there, a family member reminding you to be realistic. Friends laughing every time you try becoming more than the version they're comfortable with. Over time, those voices become internal. And eventually, people begin shrinking themselves before life even tests them. That's the real tragedy, not failure, self-abandonment. The world has a strange way of rewarding people who continue walking even while nobody claps for them. But very few people survive the silence long enough to see it. Because in the beginning, growth looks lonely, discipline looks obsessive, vision looks delusional, until results arrive. Then suddenly, everyone calls it talent. I once heard an old monk say something that unsettled me deeply. He said, "The tree is mocked while it's still a seed." That's why proving everyone wrong is not really about revenge. Revenge is loud, emotional, temporary. Real transformation is quiet. It happens when you wake up early without motivation, when you keep building while nobody notices, when you continue believing in a future your current reality cannot yet prove. That's where lives change, not publicly, privately. And maybe the hardest part is understanding this. Some people will only support your dream after it no longer requires faith. But by then, you won't need their approval anymore. That realization frees people, because the moment you stop living for validation, your energy returns to you. Your focus sharpens. Your fear weakens. You stop performing for the crowd and begin building for your future. And strangely enough, that's often the exact moment success finally begins approaching you. Not because life became easier, but because you became harder to discourage. There's another truth nobody talks about. Sometimes the person you must prove wrong the most is yourself. The old version of you. The fearful version. The version trained by disappointment and hesitation. Because there comes a point where your greatest enemy is no longer the people doubting you. It's the voice in your own mind whispering, "What if they were right?" That voice destroys more futures than failure ever will. And overcoming it requires something deeper than motivation. It requires identity. The decision to become someone who keeps going regardless of applause, recognition, or immediate results. That's why some people escape impossible situations, while others remain trapped in lives they secretly hate. One kept listening to doubt, the other kept moving anyway. So if you're in a season where nobody understands your vision, pay attention carefully. That does not always mean you're lost. Sometimes it means you've seen something before everyone else has. And history has always looked insane in the beginning. So work quietly, learn quietly, build quietly, and let your results become so undeniable that the same people who questioned your future are forced watching you become